I am so excited to be here today with David Newman, who is a rock star business dude. And he's going to talk to us about the books that he's written, because he's written many, and what they've done for his business. So, David, tell us who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So my name is David Newman. I run a company called Do It Marketing, and we work with speakers and consultants and experts to help them develop a speaking-driven business and to monetize that speaking-driven business into more reach and more revenue. So my book, the main book that I want to talk to you about, is my latest book, biggest book, most successful book, which came out in 2013, called Do It Marketing, 77 Instant Action Ideas to boost sales, maximize profits, and crush your competition. And yes, if you're counting words, that is the world's longest subtitle. And you can hear that we're in Key West, Florida, and the cruise ships are pulling out, and that's why it's like brrr. So that's not. I didn't have like a taco or something for lunch. And it's not personal gas. It's just the giant cruise ship heading out. So the book. I mean, we talked about this today relative to your fabulous program. That any entrepreneur, any coach, any executive who wants to capture lightning in a bottle, who wants to organize and systematize their intellectual property, so it is step one in their marketing and sales and business development process. Any of those things, and we've got many successful authors that were just in this room with us and making silly faces behind the camera, as a matter of fact. And this was a consistent theme, actually, of our meeting here today, is how to monetize your expertise. And before you monetize it, you have to systematize it. And before you systematize it, you have to capture it in some concrete, fixed format. So I have been doing, let me just kind of tell you the backstory relative to what Annalisa's doing. I've been doing coaching and consulting and training and some online programs and group programs for about 6 years before my book came out. I've been doing other crazy crap for like 5 years prior to that, but we're not going to talk about the deep, dark ages. But since about 2007, I really had my head screwed on straight as a coach. And I was doing okay. I was like, making about 100K, and that was all great. And that was 2007, and then 2008, and then about 2008 and 9, I hit 200K on my own steam, no book, no nothing. But the hockey stick came when the book came out. So the book came out in 2013, and like I said, it's called Do It Marketing. The magic about writing the book and then publishing the book and then launching the book was probably a half dozen different benefits and impacts. So I would say, number one, authority. Authority and credibility, literally, like Annalisa says, being the person who wrote the book. And was it the only marketing book? No, right? People who write leadership books, health and wellness, weight loss, personal fitness, career, whatever it is that your shtick is, trust me, you will not have the only book. But having the book as the rocket fuel for the platform, saying, okay, this guy or gal, they're the real deal. They're the authority. They wrote the book. They have their own unique ideas, perspectives, angles, opinions on this topic. They're not just yet another coach, yet another speaker, yet another wannabe. This is a real substantial expert. So that's number one. Number two is a purely lead generation. I mean, so the way that I know Annalisa's methodology is the same exact methodology that I used, where the book is like one aspect. It's the paper version of your multimedia online and offline domination strategy. So my book sold about 15,000 copies, which for a civilian no-name author is awesome. Just in case you don't know. There's about 6,000 people on my email list who the only reason they're on my email list is that 6,000 out of those 15,000 people said, go to this website, give David Newman your email address, and you will get some downloads, some cheat sheets, some worksheets, some companion tools, some additional bonus, some inside, like I've got a Facebook group just for it's called the Do It Marketing Book Club. All of these different things. There's downloads, there's community, there's membership, there's all kinds of things for free when they buy this book for like $16 and change on Amazon, that they are now part of my club, right? They're my fan club, they're my follower club, they're my subscribers, they get all kinds of free value. I have probably generated, I did the math on this because I do this in my webinars sometimes when people say, well, how much did the book really cost you? So in royalties alone, the book generated about $30,000 over the last 4 years. So about $7,500 a year in royalties, which is fine. That's no big deal. When I did the math on how many people came to me because of the book, how much speaking, how much coaching, how much consulting, it is over $500,000. So
Wow.
$500,000 of revenue. And again, that's not in 1 year, that's over 4 years. But imagine, think of it as $125,000 extra hitting your bank just because you have the book. Can we underline that? Is there like an underline feature on video? Just because you have the book. So whatever you're making now, maybe you're making 100K, maybe you're making 500K now, whatever it is, add to that $125,000 of people that came to you through the book, from the book, because of the book, in my case, in spite of the book, but it is a accelerator, it is a magnifier and an amplifier to what you're doing in your offline business. It was a magnifier and an amplifier to what I was doing in my online business. And it was just a huge source of, like I said, authority, credibility, trust. Because here's the other thing. When people read your book and they like your book, and it's an awesome book, because I know that Annalise has very high standards for the kind of books that she publishes and that she takes on from her client base. It's not about writing a book. It's about writing a freaking awesome book. Yeah. And one of the keys to selling 15,000 copies in my case, now you've got success stories that are way, way bigger than that anyway, but you can't sell any significant number of copies through legitimate means unless you're selling them to your mom or your dog right. If your book sucks. Right. Yeah. So the fact that, I wrote a book in 6 weeks, I just typed up some crap, I repurposed some blogs, and look, I have a book. That's not what we're talking about. That is not the recipe for success. Having a marketing-focused book, and you and I were talking about this just kind of in the hallway and walking up and down to dinner, that the book really is a business. Mm-hmm. The book is a new division of your business, and the business is the biggest marketing vehicle that you're going to have for the book. So it's not like, it's this little side project, I'll have a book, and now, look, I'm a coach with a book, I'm an expert with a book. Mm-hmm. You are now a information entrepreneur, and you've got the book and your coaching and your speaking and your training and your online courses and your seminars, but the business is built around the ideas in the book. This was like 17 answers to one question that you asked. We might be done. This might be like a one-question interview. Wow. Is there anything else I left out?
No, I think that was really great. So, David, just tell us the name of your book again, and we can pick it up on Amazon, I'm guessing.
You can. Yeah. So it's Do It Marketing, 77 instant action ideas to boost sales, maximize profits, and crush your competition, world's longest subtitle, award winner. If you want to go to the main website, get all kinds of free goodies and downloads and all these crazy things I was talking about, it's doitmarketing.com. And there are some specific book-related companion tools and downloads at doitmarketing.com/book. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Annalise's fabulous, amazing program, really one of a kind, as far as I know. And my clients, by the way, are her clients. So any kind of crazy entrepreneurial publishing, self-publishing, coaching, mentoring, I've seen it. I've looked at it. It ain't this. It ain't this right here. This. You need this. I don't know who you are. I don't know who all y'all are out there, but I will tell you, if you want the best of breed, complete end-to-end, the strategy, the marketing, the writing, the platform building, the distribution, the revenue generating engine that comes with a book. A lot of people will say, I'll self-publish your book. Great. That becomes a printing project. You guys don't need a printing project. You need a revenue acceleration project built around your book. Right here. Right here. This is it.
Thank you
You
so
want
much.
to talk about your thing, or
Yeah, I mean,
let's talk about your thing?
let's talk about my thing. So, as you know, David, we're helping entrepreneurs not only to write their expert books and to write them well, to write a high quality book that gets their message out to people who are
Hashtag
thirsting for
doesn't
it.
suck.
Exactly.
It's important.
We're helping them with that marketing to really create that branch of their business that gets their book, gets their message out there, and to build their speaking or their seminars or their workshops, their retreats, whatever it is that they're wanting that book to do for their business. Because a lot of people, as you know, and I'm sure you've heard this, make the mistake of thinking a book is a book. And it's not. It's not like we're writing a novel or a collection of short stories or something that we're just going to put our name on a creative project. This kind of a book, an expert book, an entrepreneur expert book, really helps to launch your business. It's part of your marketing plan. And this is, your
Yes.
area of expertise, that really puts you out there, makes you unique, makes you that go-to expert that people are looking to bring in. So it's
And that's where
really
the money
important.
is, people. That's where the
Yes.
money is.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're in business, right? We're trying to make
Yes.
money. So
Yes.
so
Well,
book
and
can help us do
let's
that.
also, just one more quick thing. This is about helping more people.
Yeah.
So there are people that bought my book that
Mhm.
will never hire me for anything. And that's just how, that's the law of averages. That's how math works. No problem. I still feel good
Mhm.
that they got some tremendous value from the book. And if they should ever win the lottery, if they should ever say, oh, I need some help with this, or,
Mhm.
I bought David's book 2 years ago and it's on the shelf and I've highlighted it and I've dog-eared it and I've got my little Post-it notes and now it's time to reach out for help.
Right.
Now it's time. And so here's just to prove that fact that your book is a long-term evergreen client magnet.
Mhm.
I have had people that said, I bought your book 4 years ago.
Oh.
I signed up for your book bonuses.
Mhm.
I've been following you. I've been getting your email newsletter. I've been on your webinars. I see your Facebook lives. I'm in your Facebook group. And again, none of this would have happened if they hadn't bought the $20 book. Now they say to me, well, I haven't bought anything yet. And they're kind of ashamed and embarrassed. I said, dude, it's okay, right? I'm here when you need me. I'm here when you need me. Now, other people said, I picked up your book and I knew you were the guy. That's literally the language that I hear.
Right.
I read your book. I didn't even finish your book. I read like 100 pages of your book. I put the book down. I said, I'm calling him. Because the ideas connected, the ideas resonated. My voice, my attitude, my persona, my content, my strategies, my tactics, my worldview that is in that book, which is very complete and very thorough and very meaty. People are either going to love your book or they're going to hate your book. There's no middle of the road books like, meh, it was it was okay. If you publish a kind of middle of the road meh book, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about infusing it and putting every bit of your personality, wisdom, beliefs, opinions, perspectives, your lens on the world, your recommendations, your advice, all of your wisdom is going to go in this book. And at that point, they say, this person's going to be my coach. This person's going to be my consultant. This person I'm bringing into my company. This person, their DNA is a good match for where we want to go and what we want to do. And then some people will jump over. Some people will jump over immediately. Like I've had people sign up for my Big Dollars program. They say, I bought your book last week. I was on your webinar 3 days ago. I'm talking to Teresa. I'm talking to one of your salespeople today, and I'm in. And it was 1 week. 1 week from $20 book sale to many 5-digit program sale.
Right.
Other people are on this other path, like, 4 years and haven't bought anything yet. And there's a whole spectrum of people in between. But it literally, I did the math on this, is the math I shared with you. $500K over 4 years, $125,000 a year directly, not indirect, not maybe, I guess, I think. People that have mentioned the book, talked about the book, posted in my Facebook group, here's a screenshot of me like in Belize reading your book by the pool, right? And then that same person comes back in 6 months and makes a $10,000 or $30,000 investment with me to help transform their speaking-driven business. That is what we're talking about for you. So it's way more than a book.
Yeah.
It is a client. It's an evergreen, perpetual client magnet. Your next you might disagree with this number, but I would say your next 5 to 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
if you write a really good evergreen book that's not tied to like social media and like, oh, move the Facebook button and, oh, my book is out of date. But any kind of book based on evergreen principles of your teaching, coaching, mentoring, whatever it is that you do, it is the ticket to upgrading and elevating and escalating and accelerating the next 5 to 10 years of your business. So even let's say 5 years at 125K, we're talking about a 625, is that right? What's 5 times 125? I'm not a math major, I think it's $625,000. That realistically, without smoke and mirrors and hype and BS, you could say, this is gonna put 125K in my pocket. And I didn't have a really big, huge list going into this. I'm not one of these authors that said, oh, I've got 20,000 people on my email list. I mean, I do now, luckily, partly because of the 6,000 that came from the book.
Right.
So hello, people go, oh, well, here's the other myth I want to share. We're like doing a 5-hour Facebook Live. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, I already have to be successful. I already have to have a huge list for this book thing to kick in. No, it kicks in because of your book.
Right.
It kicks in from your book. It kicks in after your book. You can be, and again, this is the magic, I think, of your program, is you're taking someone who might be a very successful entrepreneur, very successful coach, very successful executive. They don't know necessarily anything about list building, online marketing. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't. And then the book is the wedge that gets them in the door.
Right.
And then the website and the videos that you create and all of this marketing ecosystem around the book, that's what builds the marketing engine. So if you think, oh, I'm not ready, I don't have 20,000 people on my list, I couldn't possibly sell. What's your biggest seller, like 500,000 books?
500,000 books, yep.
I couldn't possibly sell 500,000 books. Well, you know what? You're right. On your own, you can't.
That's right.
Right here, and you can. So it is, please don't disqualify yourself that I don't have a big list, I don't have a big name, I don't have a big platform. Of course you don't. After the book is when you get the big name, the big list, the big platform, the big authority, the big credibility, and that $125,000 a year at least. And again, I was kind of spitballing that. If I was more intentional, and if I had a program like yours, because when my book came out, your program didn't exist.
Right.
So if I had this, screw it, man. I'd be like $250,000 a year just from this. But I had to do it the hard way because I'm a bonehead.
Next book. There we go.
Next book.
All right. Thank you, David, so much. Fist bump.
Boom.
Awesome.
There it is.